Good morning, gang. Happy Sunday morning. All right, the old quote: "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." Pretty much true. If you think about it, and I do often, it's like, why the hell am I doing this? Why? What am I preparing for? Right? And if you ask a dozen preppers, you'll probably get a dozen different answers. Armageddon, EMP, nuclear war, alien invasion, economic collapse, job loss, death of somebody in the family. There's a lot of different things, right? But why the hell are we even doing this? We're in the middle of silly season right now for preppers, okay? Spring is now sprung, and we are actively getting everything done that needs to work itself over the summer. Already my garden is almost completely planted. The only thing that needs to go in yet is cucumbers, and it's still just a hair early for that, okay? I'm already harvesting stuff. You guys know, talked about it last night, but Mrs. P and I have now made 16 pints of strawberry jam. I just dehydrated somewhere between 3 and 4 pounds more of strawberries. I've got more to pick. Harvested a bunch of cabbage yesterday. We're going to make kimchi today out of that. Store this stuff. It's like, why do we even bother? You've got rooms in your house that are full of preps. If you went through your checkbook over the last year, 2, 3, 5, however long you've been doing this, and you look at how much money you've spent, and you go, I could have taken a vacation. I could have bought a new car. I could have done a whole lot of other stuff, right? No, you didn't. You had the foresight to go, something ain't right. Now, the economic point, I think most people get who prep, especially when you go into your freezer or pull out a jar of something, you look at this and go, oh, I paid this last year and this is what it costs in the store now. How much money did I save? You eat something, get something on your dinner plate that you grew. Go, okay, that cost me practically nothing, depending on what you paid for the seeds, if you did at all, or fertilizer, okay? But again, there's ways around that costing anything too. But you start to look at it and you go, is it worth it? Is it worth all the time? Is it worth all the effort? In my opinion, yes, okay? You hear the interviews across the country, and I say it same too. We've got to save this country from the criminal cabal that is the Democrat Party. What if we don't? What if 2020 repeats itself? What if the election is rigged again? What if Joe gets us into this war that he's so desperate for and declares martial law, and we have the scenario that we had in the movie Civil War, as crappy as it was, that, nope, I'm not leaving the White House, you need me, I'm sticking around for another term. What if all that happens? What if we wake up one day and there are Russian paratroopers coming outside the school? Do you think Wolverines is going to be the big scream by everybody? Probably not. Okay. There's going to be a whole lot of people that are going to be happily marched into concentration camps. Oh, at least they're not going to kill me. I'm living in a cage, but at least I'm alive. The reason a lot of us do this is not because we want to survive. It's because we want to live on our own terms. Not what somebody else tells us to do, what we tell us we want to do. If you want to be an auto mechanic in the United States, you can be an auto mechanic. If you want to be a lawyer, you can be a lawyer. I mean, granted, you have to have the aptitude and the drive and determination to learn the skills. But it's not like communist countries where at 6 years old or 7 years old or something, the state determines what you are going to do with your life, and you are told when you grow up, you're going to be an auto mechanic. But I hate cars. Doesn't matter. This is what we decided you're going to do. I want to live in the country. I want to live in an apartment. I want to live in the city. We have that choice. You can go anywhere in the United States you want, okay? You can be uber conservative and move into Austin, Texas. If you like it there, it's still your choice to go there. Just no different. You could be uber liberal and live out here, where there ain't a whole lot of liberals. It's your choice. Nobody's going to tell you where to live. The reason we prep is not just to survive the coming whatever. It's because we want to live life on our own terms. I don't want any government, whether it's city, state, federal, whatever, telling me, here's your allotment for food this week. Here's your allotment for water. I mean, I just talked about smart meters the other day on water now. Okay. We don't want anybody telling us, sorry, you can't go 10 minutes from here. It's the reason why so many people are against CBDC, because that's control. Weak people allow themselves to be controlled. Strong people fight back. There are a lot of weak people in this country that just allow anybody to tell them what to do. And there's trade-offs. Sure, your boss tells you something to do at work, and you do it. Why? Well, if I don't do it, I don't have the job anymore, and I kind of need the job. Okay? But you make a choice in that. If your boss tells you you're going to work 12 hours a day, he's going to put you on salary, and he expects you there on Saturdays too. You have a choice. You can either do it, or you can go find another job. Okay? We like choices. You have Biden screaming ads yesterday all over the place in his speeches. Trump's trying to take away your freedoms. No, Joe, that's you. You're trying to take away our freedom of choice. You're trying to take away our freedom to eat what we want. We can't have meat anymore. We need to be on an all-vegetable diet, vegetable burgers or bug burgers. You're trying to take away our choice to arm ourselves. You get into the abortion thing, and people say, well, you're against choice in that. No, I'm not. I'm 100% supportive of a woman's ability to choose what to do with her body. The only problem is that baby inside her ain't her body. It's somebody else's body. And they're taking away that person's choice, albeit they're a fetus, but still a living being, taking away that person's choice to live. I don't know, the way I define that would be murder. But this is why we prep. I choose to spend my afternoons pulling weeds in the garden. I choose to live somewhere where it's a half an hour for me to get to the grocery store. I'm not going to live in a 15-minute city. I choose not to. They may try to force me to live in a 15-minute city. It ain't going to go too well when they try to enforce that. Sure, eventually I may not be here. In that case, I will probably be sitting beside the Father. But there's a whole lot of other people who, if they decide to force that upon me, aren't going home for dinner that night either. The reason we prep is because we value our ability to choose. No other reason. Okay? We want to live life on our terms, not somebody else's. We don't want a dictator controlling us at any level. You hear so many people say, well, things are going to be different when Trump wins in November. You sure? First off, you don't know he's going to win. Okay. That may not happen. Like I said, we may have a repeat of 2020. But look what happened in 2016. He came in and everybody was like, oh my God, we're going to have a complete 180 from the disaster that was 8 years of Obama. Trump did a lot of good things, no question. Okay? We didn't have any wars. The economy was good. You know, the black community should be celebrating because it was the best 4 years of collectively their lives economically. But he didn't do everything. He can't fix everything. It's not like on January 21st, 2025, all of a sudden, nobody's going to cross the southern border. It's not like immediately Ukraine is going to surrender or Hamas is going to surrender and there's going to be peace in the Middle East or peace in Eastern Europe. It's not like all those checks aren't still going to go to all these foreign countries. It's not like crime is immediately going to stop. All that stuff's still going to exist. He'll do what he can to stem the tide, but it ain't all going away. It may eventually, eventually wars end. Okay. Crime doesn't ever stop, but you'll still hear all the screaming, about every non-important issue. He mispronounced me. That ain't gonna stop, okay? We're still gonna have to deal with a complete mess and people that want to take away our choice. Just because Trump wins the White House doesn't mean 20 some odd governor's mansions in the country are all of a sudden going to flip red. It doesn't mean that half of Congress is all of a sudden going to disappear. Okay. Jerry Nadler, Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi ain't going anywhere. We still have to deal with their idiocy. That's why we prep. Because of the uncertainty that life is, and we do what we can to live on our terms, to make our choices. Because again, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Well, I do a lot. So evil ain't triumphing around here. I hope it's not in your house either. Pinball out.